Casey Orr and Sean Whitfield, and we're keeping you up to speed on iTruckTV.com. It's our second trip to Pocono, and typically a racetrack that doesn't generate a lot of excitement. Well, it did just that this time around, as Dale Earnhardt Jr. holds off a hard-charging Kevin Harvick the final 4 laps to sweep the series at Pocono. Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins both races at the Tricky Triangle, this time and both times in dramatic fashion. This gives him 3 victories on the year. And Sean, for a race that sometimes, let's face it, you and I criticize for lacking excitement, we were treated to a heck of a final at Pocono.
Yes, we were. We saw some good pit strategy, a lot of hard-nosed racing. We also, for a moment, thought we were at Talladega. We saw 3, 4, 5 wide type racing at times, and then we had what is known as now the Pocono Big One, which we had multiple cars in a big crash at Pocono.
Yeah, ruined a lot of days. Tony Stewart ended up getting in that wreck. Carl Edwards was in there, Eric Amarola, Denny Hamlin. Some big names that were having pretty decent days wiped clean due to that big wreck. But Sean, this was a race that actually you saw Jeff Gordon dominate it. He led the most laps, but fuel strategy came into play, which we see so many times. Fuel and tire strategy. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew chief, Steve Letarte, has him opt for 4 tires when everybody else takes 2. That way the final pit stop, when everyone takes 4, Junior only takes 2. He's able to get some track position and go on to his 3rd win of the season.
That's right. So many races are won right there out of the pit box and certainly on pit road. And the race at Pocono was none other than a race from the pit box. Okay, we saw a 22nd victory in 526 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series races at Pocono. This is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 3rd victory and 15th top 10 finish in 2014. In 2nd spot, we had Kevin Harvick. He posted his 10th top 10 finish in 28 races at Pocono. 3rd was Joey Logano, posted his 4th top 10 finish in 12 races at Pocono Raceway. In 4th spot, we had Clint Bowyer. 5th, Greg Biffle. 6th, Jeff Gordon. 7th was Jamie McMurray. 8th, Ryan Newman. 9th, Denny Hamlin, and 10th, Kasey Kahne.
Some other notables: Kyle Larson, your highest finishing rookie, in 11th spot. Kurt Busch led a lot of laps but had a tire go down late. He finished 13th, and that big wreck ruined a lot of days. Carl Edwards finished 29th, Danica Patrick 30th, AJ Allmendinger 34th, Tony Stewart, Brian Vickers, and Matt Kenseth all caught up in that wreck, finished 36th, 37th, and 38th. Bad day for Kyle Busch, who loses an engine and finishes 42nd.
There were 8 caution flags for 35 laps and 15 lead changes among 10 drivers.
So now Dale Earnhardt Jr. is tied with Jimmy Johnson and Brad Keselowski for most victories this season. All those drivers have 3 wins.
It looks like with 5 races to go, we've got 11 drivers that have won races. So for sure, the top 11 drivers in the standings that have all won races are guaranteed now a spot in the chase for the Sprint Cup.
And now, as we get closer to the chase, which will be the battle for the championship, the now race for the chase, the guys trying to get in to NASCAR's playoffs are either going to have to get a win or do some serious points racing, because, Sean, it is tight right now in the standings.
It sure is. And let's move on into the driver's standings of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. After our race at Pocono this past weekend, and Jeff Gordon is our points leader, 17 points ahead of 2nd place Dale Earnhardt Jr. 3rd is Brad Keselowski. 4th is Matt Kenseth. 5th, Ryan Newman. 6th, Jimmy Johnson. 7th, Joey Logano. 8th, Carl Edwards. 9th, Clint Bowyer. And 10th, Kyle Busch.
11th spot, Kevin Harvick. 12th, Kyle Larson. 13th, Greg Biffle. 14th, Kasey Kahne. 15th, Austin Dillon. 16th spot, Paul Menard. However, 22nd place, Eric Amarola. And 23rd place, Kurt Busch. Both had wins. They would make it in to the chase if it were to start today. And Sean, Kyle Larson, Greg Biffle, Kasey Kahne, and Austin Dillon all separated from 12th to 15th in the points, all separated by 8 points. So that dividing line for whether you make it or whether you not, That's going to be a lot of racing action coming up in the next few weeks to decide that little area right there.
It sure does. And, of course, this weekend we're headed to race number 22 of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, headed at Watkins Glen International for the CHEEZ-IT 355 at the Glen. And, of course, we're going to be bringing you all the latest results and driver standings each week here on Up to Speed. Of course, join us each and every week on Mondays and Thursdays for Valvoline Racing Radio on Rock 105. You can join us at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and also on iHeartRadio. That does it for this week's Up to Speed on iTruckTV.com.
Right here on the NASCAR Update at iTruck TV, where Shawn and I keep you up to speed.